Morning, everybody. Lindsay Huddleston back in the building. Another SPS Monday Motivation. Had a little break from you guys. Took Labor Day off. It's funny, I was looking online, seeing a lot of the talking heads still working on the holidays. That's fine, but I needed the break. When you step away, it allows you to reflect. And I feel that going into this fourth quarter, going into the latter part of 2020, being able to be clear and concise with my messaging is very important. And hopefully, I can say something that could be positive to you. So, what is today's SPS Monday motivation? 25%. 25%. Lindsay, what are you talking about? Well, as I always say, my Monday motivations are always impacted by, in most cases, life events, things that are going on in the world, or things that may have happened to me in particular. And I think about this as a moment of how I can share this to be an inspiration or a blessing or something positive to someone else. So going back to a local eatery that I go to here in East Lansing, Michigan, Big Apple Bagel on Saginaw Highway. Shout out to Big Apple Bagel. They've been really good since day one. I've been going there for several years since I've really been in Lansing, but when I moved to East Lansing, they're literally right around the block from me. So anyway, I was in there and got to see a good friend of mine, Wayne Lynn. Shout out to my A5A brother, Wayne Lynn, doing great things, doing wonderful things with the mentoring program, Turning Point in particular. I'm happy to have been supportive of them and spoke to their group. But he was in there with a young man, Elijah. They were having some mentorship meetings. And I know this because after I said hello to both of them and I got in line, I overheard Wayne's introductory question, which is, if you're a mentor or a mentee, he said, so tell me where you're at with things. And it reminded me of being in high school and having people like Mr. Ernest McCoy from Henry Ford High School. Shout out to Papa McCoy. Ted Ewald of the Ewald Foundation. He used to be owner of the Pistons. Used to manage Joe Louis. Ewald Foundation out of Grosse Pointe. Gave me several scholarships over the years, but it reminded me of those times sitting down with people. So where am I getting at with this 25%? Well, before I sat down and caught up with Wayne briefly and just, touch base with him, there was a gentleman in line. And when Wayne talked about him following the work that I've been doing, my podcast and things like that, and Wayne was bigging me up. I appreciate Wayne. The gentleman in line was like, oh, kind of just staring at me. I'm from Detroit, man. You can't stare at me too long. So eventually I'm like, yeah, what's up? He asked about the podcast. I told him about the work I do with athletes and whatnot. Come to find out that he's basically an MMA instructor, grappling and all those type of things. And he has a business. And he talked about how the business was impacted, of course, by COVID-19. And he went from having some 200, students down to almost none. And as we were sitting there talking, I just really just got this thought in my mind, as difficult as it may be to go from having 200 students to trying to build back up. Governor Whitmer has stated that most businesses should be operating at 25%. 25%. And that's difficult when you talk about trying to create your business and get your business back in order and do well by that. But the other part I had to look at is, what is 25%? It's 1/4. It takes 4 25s to make a whole 100. Getting into math on you guys. But what I want to state today on this Monday motivation is that 25%, guys, you have to look at in perspective. Good morning, cuz. How you doing? Brother Wu Payne, been thinking about you, man. I need to get with you. But that 25%, man, it may seem like you're not moving anywhere, getting anywhere, doing anything. But the 25% really is a great deal away of where we were 6 months ago. 6 months ago, when the COVID-19 global pandemic hit, we were shut down completely. We had no idea what the future would look like, no idea what we would do. So what I'm saying, if you can put it in perspective of 6 months ago, when we didn't know where we were going, then you look up right now, and we're talking about 25% capacity. At least we were able to find a way. Thank you, brother. Brother Ringo, I appreciate you and Ringo Economics and all that you guys are doing, man. So I'm talking about the 25% that we have to keep in perspective. Imagine this. Imagine your phone was dead. It happens a lot of you traveling, if you're on a plane or just things that happen. Your phone is dead. And you just need a little bit of energy. If you go from your phone being dead to somebody giving you a charger and letting you get a 25% charge on your phone, hey man, that's great. That's wonderful. That's probably all you need to make something happen. Isn't it amazing how in some cases we can appreciate 25%. Never forget self-help guru who passed away several years ago, Wayne Dyer. He talked about him having just a little bit of hair on his head. He said there's not much hair unless it's in your soup. So you may have a little bit of hair on your head and it may not be a big deal, but if it was in your soup, that'll be a problem. My point being is sometimes we got to look at the 25% and say that's a lot. I can work with that because that gives me perspective. So let's go back to my buddy Wayne when he was sitting with the young man, and I laughed because I heard Wayne put that question out there, and it reminded me of all the mentorship moments I've had with great men who've mentored me and young men I've been able to mentor. And I laughed because I told the young man, you got to be honest during these times. You got to be honest because here's the thing. You're probably at 25% of where your career is right now. If this young man is a college student, he may be a college freshman. They say it takes 4 years to finish college. Yeah, whatever. But we all know he's moving along. He's 1/4 along the way, meaning that he's not all the way there yet. But if you're at 25%, you know that there's something left. There's something you can kind of gauge. There's an idea you can have as far as what the future could hold. My brother James in the building. How you doing, man? Good morning. Up here getting it. We talk about that 25%. Sometimes we want the whole 100%. But we can't have 100% all the time. Sometimes it's the 25% we have to look at, engage, and figure out where we are. Because right now, 25% sounds really bad for business to be able to operate only at 25%. It sounds really bad, but if you think about 6 months ago, when I sat right here and talked to you guys and talked about getting through this global pandemic, we had no idea what the future holds. So all I'm saying is just hold on. And sometimes 25% is all you need, because if your phone is dead on a cold, lonely highway and you only got one call to make and you finally get 25% battery life, that will save your life. So don't sleep on just being 25%. Don't sleep on only being 1/4 of the way finished. Don't sleep on only having 1/4 of an opportunity, because there's some more left there. Sometimes we don't get it all, and sometimes we're not ready for it all. Sometimes that 25% mode can allow us to rethink things, allow us to kind of ease into it and not jump completely off the deep end, and something that we need to be working on a little bit more. So what else can I say to you guys on this Monday motivation? Hey, the fall is here. Football is here. I have to admit, I'm still torn about sports. I am not completely 100% all the way in. Maybe I'm 25% in right now. And that's just my personal opinion, because I think there's some things that we have to do, not only as a country and as a community, but we just have to keep in mind. I got a chance to get down to Detroit yesterday. I snuck up on my mom. She was doing her daily walk on Belle Isle. Get down there, and I snuck up on her. But my mom is high risk for COVID-19. It's funny, people get on there and talk about it's a hoax and this and that. No, man. My mother saw a lot of her contemporaries pass away. And it's ironic, when we were on Belle Isle walking near the fountain, the famous fountain, it was near where they had the COVID-19 memorial. So everybody got their opinion, man. That's fine. I got mine too. But if you want to say COVID-19 is a hoax, that it's fake, you should have saw them pictures. I haven't hugged my mother in 6 months. When I got with her, she masked up and whatnot. So I don't care what nobody's saying about the mask and this and that. It won't be me that put my mother in a situation where she has to lead this life because of that. So I say all that to say, folks, that we're at 25% in for the state of Michigan for business opening. And you may be 25% along in your academic career. You may be 25% along in your relationship. You may be 25% along in some type of endeavor. And sometimes we feel overwhelmed because we feel we're not where we want to be. That's the story of everyone's life, it seems. But sometimes that 25% is just enough to engage what you need to engage to get where you have to go. That 25% is enough battery life to get you to make the phone calls you need. Because what happens if you got 100% battery life on a cold late night? You ain't calling everybody on your phone. It's only a few calls you're going to make. So what I'm saying is, don't be dismayed, folks. Keep a good heart. Keep your head up. Let's get ready to go into this last part of the year. We're getting ready to wrap up 2020. 2020 has been like no one would have thought. So once we get past that, anything we're working on, we can be prepared for and ready to deal with. So on this Monday motivation, I don't want to keep you guys. I moved the time up a little bit early to accommodate these new schedules with back to school and things that are changing, because summer is just about officially over, but we still could be grinding. We still could be reaching our dreams, goals, and aspirations. And I hope that these words today can be an inspiration. So 25%, take what you got and make it work. Do the best of what you have. To my guy Matt, keep working. Get those guys back in the gym. Get back to the basics. If you can't do the physical part, focus on the mental. To the athletes whose season went from 9 games to 6, that's okay. Make the most of it. It's not the 100% you wanted, but you're going to make the most of what you have. Be present in the moment. So with that, is Lindsay Huddleston with SPS, the Monday Motivation. Please subscribe to the SPS Edge on YouTube. You can follow us at the SPSEdge.org and check us out on Thursday when I got my guy, SPS intern Terry McCord Jr. joining us for the SPS Mental Toughness Show. Talk about everything that's happening in the world, social injustice and how it's playing out through sports, but also how you can stay mentally tough, not only in sports, but in life. So with that, thank you guys. I'll talk to you soon and keep supporting SPS. God bless.